Welcome to my Artefact of Teaching for Assignment 2. For Assignment 2, I've decided to produce a yoga and mindfulness program which I will integrate into Hawkesdale Peter 12 School in southwest Victoria. It will look to teach the importance of physical movement through yoga whilst also teaching students the skills to become more mindful. At the end of the program, the skills will hopefully be implemented at different times of the day and during class. For instance, in class breaks and performing yoga stretches while reading. This example lesson and rationale is designed to showcase how a lesson could be implemented. It's important to recognise that this lesson would be completed in about week 5 of the 10-week program. To begin the yoga class, all the students will come down and sit down on the floor in front of the whiteboard and have a quick stretch. The importance of stretching has been discussed with the students previously, as they understand the importance of warming up before completing any form of physical exercise. But the stretch is also important because while the students are stretching, they also get to choose the yoga poses that they will be completing in today's class. In the beginning of the yoga learning sequence, there was a lot of direct instruction from the teacher in order to teach the students the yoga poses safely and properly. However, once the students have grasped the different yoga poses, in these classes they are then allowed to pick the different poses that they will perform in the class. In order to incorporate literacy into the exercise, students may be asked to spell the names of their poses as they call them out. However, to focus more on the health and physical education side of yoga, I would ask the students something about the pose, such as, does it require core strength or flexibility? As mentioned previously, a lot of direct instruction pedagogy has been used in the formulation of learning the poses. However, once these poses have been grasped, questions such as these work on more of a constructivist type approach and build on students' prior knowledge to create new understandings. Once the class has decided on the yoga poses for the day and have all had a good stretch, they will then head outside. The school I have chosen, Hawkesdale, is surrounded by beautiful Australian bushland, and therefore, because of the added benefits of exercising outside, we will always go outside when possible. Students will be placed in a circle as it caters for a more inclusive learning environment, and the teacher will also participate in the yoga exercises because of the benefits it has shown students with increasing their engagement and enjoyment in yoga. However, even though students have stretched and are warmed up, the first thing we always do in yoga is focus on our breathing. Breathing is really important because it reduces stress and anxiety, it improves concentration and focus, and even increases students' lung capacities. Deep breathing is the main focus for a start, and students will engage with this by only breathing through their nose. Major emphasis is placed on making sure students only inhale and exhale at the same speeds and at the same rate. Whilst breathing, it's also important to sit in some sort of meditation pose. So, students are encouraged to choose whatever meditation pose they like. The easy pose, for instance, as shown on the screen, is a pose that most students are able to complete. However, for students who are unable to complete this, it is more important for them to simply focus on their breathing. Students will breathe exclusively through their nose whilst doing yoga breathing. However, there are a series of different techniques and methods for doing so. The method we have chosen is the in for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, which involves breathing in for 5 seconds, holding that breath for 5 seconds, and then exhaling that breath in 5 seconds. The breathing exercises will be completed over a couple of minutes. After that, the class will begin completing the yoga poses that it decided on earlier. For the next 20 minutes, students will be completing the different poses that they have chosen. This allows the teacher to move around and help out any students that are struggling with particular poses. Whilst it's extremely valuable to have the teacher performing the yoga poses with students, it's also extremely valuable to have them cruising around helping out students where they need. Also, while the teacher is doing this, they are also able to prompt students and ask questions about the poses with regards to health and physical education, such as what are the important skills and facets of each pose, such as core strength, flexibility, balance. The reason for this is to make sure that students are not only engaging in movement, but also understanding the importance of it. Once students have completed all the poses they collectively chose as a class, the teacher will issue a yoga challenge. The teacher will produce the name of a brand new pose that children won't have experienced yet, and will ask them from the name to try and interpret and recreate the pose. Once they have done this, they will then all show the class what they think the yoga pose may look like. Students may or may not have completed this pose before. However, the important thing is discussing the crucial elements of the pose, such as which parts of the body students are using, which facets of health are important, such as core or balance or flexibility, and having students understand the importance of those elements in their physical health. The next part of the lesson will involve a story. The story will be told by the teacher, which involves a bunch of different yoga poses throughout. As the students hear the different names of the yoga poses, they will perform them. For example, the lonely butterfly. The lonely butterfly flew in the sky. The butterfly felt sad and lonely because he wanted some friends. So he asked his mum, "Oh, Mum, I'm so bored. What can I do?" His mum said, "You should go find some friends." So first, he went to see a lion. He said to the lion, "Will you play with me?" The lion said, "No, I'm too busy. Sorry." The butterfly said, "That's okay," and flew away. Next, the butterfly went to see a cat. He said to the cat, "Will you play with me?" And the cat said, "I'm too busy, sorry, I'm trying to find dinner." The butterfly said, "That's okay," and flew away. The butterfly then went to see a frog. He said to the frog, "Will you play with me?" The frog said, "I'm sorry, I'm too busy, I've got to get back to my pond." The butterfly said, "That's okay," and flew away. The butterfly then ran into a cobra and said, "Will you play with me?" And the cobra said, "I'm sorry, I'm too busy." The butterfly said, "That's okay," and flew away. The butterfly then decided to fly over the top of a mountain. The mountain was really, really high, and on the other side, he landed in a tree. When he got to the tree, he met a bird. He said to the bird, "Will you play with me?" The bird said, "Yes, I'd love to play with you." It turns out the bird and the butterfly had been very lonely, and they had heaps and heaps of fun flying around and playing together. The end. The students and teacher will then come back into class. Usually on a Friday, students will spend the last part of the day reflecting upon the week and looking back at the highlights. However, for this class, and because the assessment revolves around the short story. The teacher will explain the tasks to the students so that they understand what to do for next week. Hopefully they're really excited. I reckon it'll be a really fun activity.